Good evening, everybody. Happy late Wednesday night. Sorry for speaking so low. My son and wife are asleep, but I have a special one. The dude I look up to when I finally got into the Tesla space and found him on TikTok. And I was like, what the heck is this guy doing throwing a stainless steel ball at his Cybertruck? I gained a really good friend today. I know he's always been my friend since the beginning, but we had a really good talk today on and off camera. And John, I just want to let you know, man, I appreciate you and you've made a huge impact on my life, and I appreciate the talk today. And I just want to let you know, man, that you're a hell of a dude, and you've done a lot for me and my family and this journey I'm in. And I just want to let you know, man, thank you so much for taking a small fry like me and pouring yourself into me, man. I really appreciate that. I really believe every time we hang out, it's iron sharpening iron, and I'm very thankful to be your friend, and not only that, and be able to enjoy something as an FSD and Tesla, man. But enough talking, guys. I hope you guys had a great Wednesday, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.
What's up, guys? I got one of my favorite dudes here, Silicon Valley. I'm super excited about this video. We did one in the Cybertruck, but this time we're doing a reverse roll, or I'm in the front seat in the driver and he's in the passenger. So what's up, John? How's your day?
What's up, everyone? Good, man. Glad to be ending it here with you, man.
Yeah.
Doing what we love doing, which is driving, or not really driving, supervising.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I kind of learned this style from John. I do it in all my videos where I just have Grok do a 20-minute drive. I always avoid highways so it can just do the damn do. So let's do it. Hey, Grok, can you give me a 20-minute route around this area and have me end up back here?
Sure. Try heading to Vasona Lake County Park first, then swing through downtown Saratoga and loop back via Highway 9 through the Redwoods. It should take about 20 minutes and end right here. Want me to set it up on the map?
Yeah, but can you map it out for me, please?
Route set to Vasona Lake County Park, then Saratoga. About 9 minutes out, 20 total with a chill loop back on Highway 9 through the trees. Enjoy the drive.
All right. I really wanted to get to know John more. How I met John was through ceramic. It's kind of the beginning stages of the whole San Joaquin group.
We had met before, just online. You just didn't.
Yeah, we met online. I'm talking about like in person,
Yeah,
right?
okay,
So, yeah, we met. And honestly, I was super fanboying. I've been following Joe and John since TikTok. I mean, the days of, you know, John throwing the stainless steel ball at his window and Joe just being Joe, making funny videos. I guess I shouldn't say I guess. The question I want to ask you, John, is how did your Tesla journey start?
Yeah. So it all started. I had a neighbor, so I was not one of those people, I think, what was it, in 2016, who stood outside like Valley Fair or the Palo Alto Tesla store, put their Model 3 reservation in.
Yeah.
I was that guy who was looking to get in the carpool lane with the EV sticker.
Yeah.
And number two, I was also, I had a neighbor whose brother could not afford the reservation anymore.
Got it.
So I was able to take it and get my first Model 3 in July of 2018. So it's crazy to think that it's been 8 years. But my first tweet at the time, right? It's a post now, but was, where are all the Model 3 owners in the Silicon Valley, right? Literally, that is the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Like what I posted. And that was just the, like, hey, you know, I wanted to hang out with people. This was a car that was, everyone, knew was coming, but when they saw it, it was really cool for them to see it, right? Because, so I just remember all of those days of like being able to drive around and, people are seeing this car and what is that? Tell me about it. And then also too, all of the autopilot capabilities. So, kind of that was my entrance into the community, was getting my own Model 3.
Yeah.
But it really also was, where are the owners? And where were they? They were literally on Twitter at the time.
Yeah.
Right. Elon was there. Tesla had a big handle there. And I know there was a bunch of forums, but if you wanted literally direct access for Tesla, you go online. That's where you interact with literally the guy who's leading the whole company.
Oh, shit.
So that's why, the signal was there, and that's why I jumped on. And then from there, I learned about the Tesla Owners program, official program, hence why we get to utilize the official Tesla logo in our banner, or what we call Meatball. And from there, I had to get, at the time, the way to get in was 25 VINs. And you get 25 VINs, have a couple meetups, and then you can start essentially, a club. And so that's what I did. I literally was asking my neighbors, and because, I had a lot of friends and it was one of those things, right? Because as a Model 3 owner, right, like we're kind of like a younger, like millennial generation kind of coming into being able to own this versus like, people that are 55 that are making a crazy income that can afford these, right? So it was really opening it up to a brand new, group of people because of the cost. It wasn't $120,000. It was, roughly 60, 50 at the time.
Yeah.
And that was the Model 3 wave. And that was literally, me plus a bunch of, of the owners in our group at the time, right? It was just, so from there we were able to, have our first event at IKEA in November of 2018. And that is really how it all started, right? And what we've kind of, I won't, unless you want to go there, but like, it all started being like, let's get owners together. And then it really became like, how do we, share the story of what the truth about Tesla really is?
Exactly.
Because during those days, it was the most shorted company in the U.S. history, more than Apple at the time. And so, we wanted to provide resources for like, hey, when you get your car, where do you go? Who you talk to? Where can I get recommendations on? So that's kind of what we created with our forums, our channels, is really kind of like the next stop after you buy your car. Where can you get connected with other like-minded owners?
Yeah.
But also too, how do we put out this fake news? Because again, people were lying through through every channel that they could think of to just, say bad things about Elon and his company.
Yeah. No, I mean, honestly, when I found you on TikTok, when I was getting into the space, obviously my cousin let me drive her Model Y. I mean, I watched you and Joe like religiously on TikTok, and then I scheduled my car to do a test drive in Dublin, and I never want to get out of it. My other question is, how do you keep the fire? Like, how do you keep going and just being Tesla owner, Silicon Valley? Like, how do you balance everything?
Good question, man. So I think first off, people need to know that Tesla Owners of Silicon Valley is not my day job. I think I can't tell you how many even Tesla executives think like, oh, you do this full time. No, I work in big tech. Like I work at one of the biggest companies on the planet as well. And, just to support my family, support myself. It's, as you know, living here in the Bay Area, this is one of the most expensive places to live, to raise a family on the planet.
Yep.
And so for me, it's just like, this has always been a passion. Like I can tell you right now, if this wasn't something I was passionate about, I probably would have given up years back. But for me, what's really exciting is being able to connect with people, to make connections, to talk with people, help them with where they're at. I mean, you and I, when we first talked, we were talking about rig setups and things like that.
Yeah.
I've learned a couple things from you on like, potential, like some good things to have and set up for, the best camera setups in the car.
Yeah.
But really that's kind of what it comes down to, is just that passion for people, passion for networking, passion for the company and its mission. And, so I think for me, it's like, when I started this, I obviously had no idea what I was getting into.
Yeah.
But if the passion wasn't there, there's no way that, I would be able to do this for 8 straight years and be able to accomplish the things that we've been able to accomplish.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, dude. I talk Tesla to my wife probably every single day, and I definitely look up to like you and Joe just because the fire you guys have, like the how involved you guys are with the community. Like I've never been a car guy or whatever you want to claim it as, but I'm just super thankful that I'm able to connect with you and Joe at the end of the day because like you guys are so like I don't know, man. Like to me, you guys are just so confident and you guys are very just well rounded when it comes to Tesla and life in general, right? Like I won't say too much of our personal conversations, but when I do hit you guys up, it's like I always learn something and it just makes me want to go do it. You know what I mean? I don't even I don't ever think about it, and I just trust that you guys give me that advice that will, help me with like this or getting to know Tesla more because like I said, July is my first year and I feel like I still learn something like every single freaking day just off this space.
Yep. Yeah, I mean that like I think just in life, right? It's important to, like it's important to find things that you're passionate about. It's important to find things, potentially even outlets, things that you can grow and do things with, right? And so sometimes that passion could be, playing sports. Maybe it's assistant coaching with your kids, and you can still do that. I mean, I assistant coach with my daughter on the weekends and during the week for soccer. But so you could. I think it's just finding something that you can get into. But I think it really has to be. You have to remove the selfish intent from it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what will keep the passion there, right?
Yes.
Because I think people like Joe and myself, I think we're built different in that we start with the idea of we love people.
Yes.
We love communities, and we're just passionate, genuine people, right? Like I think you and I were talking about this. Like the first day you met me, we're exchanging numbers, we're talking, we're having a conversation. Like this is not a hierarchy thing. There's no, and that's what also people won't realize, right? They may see an internet personality or something,
mm-hmm.
but they won't necessarily know the person. But even more importantly, I am kind of, who I am from the very beginning to now, right? People may say I'm different, but honestly, those who've been with me, they know, right?
Yeah.
So people like Joe, I actually knew Joe before Joe knew me. Right? Because he had this thing called like the wasted minute.
Yeah.
And that was like way back in the day. And I would I'd lose, my time by just watching his good videos.
Yeah.
But, so I think that's just the big thing, right? Is just finding something that you're passionate about that is not, because if you're like, hey, I want to, let's say, you want to start like a Pokemon channel,
mm-hmm.
but you're doing it to make money and that's kind of your goal. When you start not, investing a certain amount and not getting what you want, the next thing you know, you burn out.
Yep.
And so for me, it's like, running this organization for like 8 years, obviously we have reached where we are because of literally 8 years of hard work, labor, tears, throwing on events. And, if this was done for like personal gain, like if I was doing this full time, then like, oh, this dude's doing it for clicks, whatever, you could say all those things and people may even say all these things, but at the end of the day, it's the passion has always been there to really build the community. Like we run an annual event called the X Takeover. It was formerly the Tesla Takeover, and we actually have 2 Tesla Takeovers happening this year, one in Europe and one in Japan.
Yeah.
So our events have now gone global, right? So. But we really focus on that one event, and then we do a bunch of pop-up events, like the one you just went to, where you were hanging out with some of the Tesla program engineers and autopilot engineers from the Model Y program. And, we're doing a lot more collaboration from that perspective.
Yeah.
Versus like the cars and coffees that we used to do, because, partially the business model has changed, but also as we know, the membership base of these cars has changed where, not everyone's going to be like, as enthusiastic as you, right? They actually want to learn more about the car. They're just going to buy the car because it's the Toyota Corolla now.
Yeah, exactly. Literally.
So I think there's just, and also too, we're heading into a phase of life where of even the ownership the owners program, where it's like owners are going to become robot owners.
Yep.
So what is that going to look like? How is that going to change? And, is, car ownership going to be a huge part of the base of these clubs, or is it going to be, robot owners?
Yeah, exactly. Why is it turn green just yet? But
I think it's trying to do a loop. So I
oh,
think I would, if I were you, I would just, because it's trying, I think it was supposed to stop there, but it didn't.
yeah.
So I would just have it loop to its next destination.
Okay. Edit trip.
I didn't even realize I was like talking this whole time. And
No, you're good.
yeah, just exactly.
My other question, man, obviously the biggest thing that I see for myself on just being online and all, being exposed to all this, what would you say to someone who really wants a Tesla but gets the outside noise to not make them get one? What's your advice on that?
So I think there's a couple phases of this, but like, if you're the person who's like, okay, you see all these people buying it, but you won't even test drive it, stop whatever you're doing, forget about what other people say, go and drive it.
Yes.
Go have it drive you.
Yes.
You may have
Yeah,
to-
dude, I've literally seen these lights turn red and green on each. Oh,
Yeah,
there we
okay,
go.
here we go.
Um,
We'll let it reconfigure. But so here's the thing, is that like if you're a person who's like, hey, like I don't, I won't drive a Tesla because they're whatever, right? They're for people that hate themselves, whatever the reason is.
yeah,
Go if you haven't drive it, then your opinion literally does not matter, especially in this case, because in this case you were talking about a car. You're literally saying, I have a BlackBerry and I don't want to go and try an iPhone.
thank you.
You're saying like, hey, I think Amazon is a bookstore when it's what it is today.
Yep.
Or when you think of Amazon, or when you think of Apple as a computer company when it's, or a phone company, and you see it what it is today, it's so much more than that, right?
Exactly.
So I think that's the first step, is just go drive it. But if there's a lot of other things that are just like, maybe it's because of Elon and stuff you've heard him say, or maybe stuff that was taken out of context.
Yeah.
The truth is, like, I've met the guy. I've spent 6.5 hours with him in person. 4 hours in person, and then like 2.5 interviewing him, did virtually. And the dude genuinely cares about people, his companies. He cares about making humanity better, and making a difference. And if you look at all of his companies, it's really philanthropy at the end of the day, right? Yeah. And so, like, sure, would you maybe not agree with what he did with Doge? And that's fine, right? But you also have to understand, why would he get to that point? It's partially because the other side of the people, the Democrats, screwed him over.
Yep.
And people will say, oh, the EV summit was meant for unions. It's like, well, sure it is. That doesn't mean that at that event that they need to be, sharing lies about how GM is literally like, GM and Mary Barr are the leaders of EVs, right? That's like a slap into the face to a guy who has sacrificed everything to, really make America what it is from a manufacturing perspective, and really to put them on the map.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for Tesla, we would be so much further behind China in car manufacturing and autonomy. I mean, it's really mind-boggling, right?
Yeah.
And so I think it's just like, I think it depends on how you are. If you can mentally move past that. Some people, hey, you respect it. They just like, this guy has gotten in bed with Trump, I can't touch it.
Yep.
Hey, go drive something else, and then still go drive a Tesla, and then you make your decision.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the honest thing here, is that I think if you're a guy who likes Porsches, like you like a 911, or you want to drive a Ferrari, a Tesla may not be for you, and that's okay, right? You can have your weekend car or whatever. The Model 3 Performance is still an amazing car. The Plaid is also an amazing car. You can track those. You can, it's got The Plaid Model S has got 1,000 plus horsepower.
Yep.
So there's a lot of really cool things that it can be for, but it may not be for everyone. But I'm just saying, this car, if you think about, it from the use case from it, the use case for it, if you're commuting a lot, if you're doing a lot of driving, or if you have some family circumstances where maybe you have some like elderly folks and things like that, this is really the only option.
Yeah.
Right? It's just nothing else really makes sense here in 2026. Because it comes down to just the way of life that becomes normal when you own a Tesla. You won't go back to anything else.
Exactly.
It's just, and that's not even me. Like, I don't even need to force that. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
You and I are having a full-on conversation right now. I feel like I'm sitting in a bar, but a coffee bar or something. You know what I mean? Like I don't feel like I'm sitting in a
that guy.
Yeah, exactly. And that's fun, right?
Yeah.
And so what Jay's pointing at is this Porsche 911 Turbo or something. And so so I think it just depends if you what your use case is, and I use the Model X. I got a family of 6.
Yep.
And so, it's our family car. It's what we use to go to things. I just converted my Cybertruck to a 6-seater as well. So now I can go camping with all 6 of us.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of stuff like that just kind of like, it really can fit any use case that you want.
Yeah.
That's just my very long-winded answer.
No, I'd like that answer. And, just going off of that, I mean, I was that person, right? Like, oh, no, there's too many, like...
What did you own before?
I had a Jeep. Yeah, I had a Jeep. I was
Wrangler?
I was a big Jeep guy. I loved, like, the whole, like, fixing it. But then when it came down to it, I was looking at the number. I'm a numbers guy. My wife is as well. And I'm just like, I'm a blue-collar guy. I have a work van. And I have this Jeep. And it's just, like, at that time, I was looking just at, like, spending and all. I'm like, dude, this is like such a waste of money. And then that's when my cousin came in, and obviously I had my son, so we needed a second car and all this stuff. So then fast forward, I get a Model Y, and now I see why the Tesla community is so fired up about Teslas, because literally, like what Elon says, I designed these things so you don't have to do it twice. Meaning, like, get out of the car, click a button. Get to the car, click a button, So, like, it's going to be, I would never, like, even now, because I have a gas vehicle for work, dude, sometimes I forget to take my freaking key out of my freaking van.
Dude, have you ever driven a Hyundai Ioniq?
I have not, no.
Dude, yeah, I'll save you the time. I went to Michigan. Shout out to Kelly from Tesla Owners of Michigan. She, went around that biker over there. They host a summer meetup in Muskegon. No point intended for Muskegon, but yeah. So they host an event there. And dude, I wanted a Tesla. Hertz didn't have any at the day. I didn't want to wait 6 hours for one until the owner returned it. And so, dude, I got the Hyundai Ioniq. I drove. Thankfully, I didn't have to charge on any other random network, because that would have sucked. This is before it was opened up.
Yep.
And dude, like, I literally left the car. I got out of the car and closed it. And the whole night, the handle stuck out. Because you have to literally click lock.
Oh my gosh.
And then the car was left on too. So it literally was like the car was left on because you have to press the button. And then you have to press the lock. So I'm like, you have to get out 5 times at that point.
That's horrible.
But dude, yeah. So it's just like, it really, like, you can walk away from your Tesla now with the windows down. It will lock it. You can walk away. You can even from your car, you can realize, hey, I took a flight from here to Austin and I realized I left like my frunk open.
Yeah.
Or my trunk open. It can close it, right? Because you can control everything from your phone.
Yeah.
So it really, from that regard, is just like an absolute game changer.
I mean, man, I'm going to ask you a question because you're an OG in the game. what are your thoughts, or what?
Ooh, stop for a bit. Stop for a bird.
What do you think the plan is? Because obviously we just had Q1 earnings, that call. In your experience of being around Tesla for so long, where do you think Tesla's going to go with the whole like hardware 3 going to hardware 4? Like, what are your thoughts on that if you have a hardware 3 car?
Yeah, so I think what's going to happen is they're going to do their best to do a trade up program. It just boggles my mind for them trying to create a unique service just to upgrade these cars.
Yeah.
When you think of the amount of cars that, let's say, were originally bought with FSD. So first off, how many of those owners are there, right?
Yeah.
Out of 2 million, let's say, hardware 3 cars, how many of them actually bought FSD?
Yeah.
So you start doing all the numbers, and then how many of them are in the US? And then, you start, and how many of them haven't resold? And, it's just like, what's the number? Because I think that's really what it's going to come down to. And really, what's the process? So they're going to evaluate. And the interesting thing is Elon has been saying that they might, set up some service centers and other things to get these done. But I really think it's going to come down to, again, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but how many people, and then what's the effort and dollars to get this done?
Yeah.
And then I think from there, that's where they're probably going to just be like, hey, Jan Doe, can you please, we'll upgrade you to a Model 3 and you'll get XYZ amount off.
Yeah.
But I think that's where they need to take, I think they need to just trade people up, man. Because it's like, I just don't see them, literally standing up these whole tens, unless you're talking, I would assume maybe it's probably a couple 100,000.
Yeah.
But I just don't see this being like 1 million cars that are on hardware 3 that all have FSD.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty valuable, though, that the fact that Elon is willing to fulfill his promise, and I get it, not everyone is happy about it, but the fact that he's like, hey, I said it, I know it hasn't gone the way you guys have wanted, but it's going to go that way. And I mean, what other car company would do that? Like, I don't know, you're just going to get a new loan and you're going to get a super high interest rate and you're just going to throw this car away.
Yeah.
But the fact that he's willing to, fix hardware 3 cars to get to hardware 4, I mean, that speaks a lot of freaking volume.
Yeah. And look at this is, you literally see this Porsche, he's in the middle of the road. This is why human drivers suck.
What is he doing? What is she doing?
Whatever he wants, I guess. Like, whatever that person's on, sign me up.
Yeah, seriously.
But hey, I mean, dude's in like the middle.
Oh, hey, we get to experience
all right, so
it.
Yeah, exactly. Look at FSD. All right, this guy is like, dude, that guy's such a boss, dude.
Whatever. I guess when you own a Porsche, you can do whatever the hell you want.
Yeah. So my thought is, and this is maybe, it's totally fine if you and I also kind of disagree in some ways, but it's more of like, I was thinking of more of like, really like, how much does it actually make sense to do all of this?
Yeah.
Right? Because, and more of like, out of those people, how many can actually are willing to upgrade if you give them a pretty big discount? But yeah, at the end of the day, again, if that number is huge, then yeah, they're going to find a way that makes sense to get it done. And they'll get it done, but it's going to be painful. But also, I hope they can do it soon. Knowing Tesla and the resourcing and everything, man, it's just... All right, so it looks like it's funny how this is like Saratoga, but...
Okay.
Yeah, let's go. We can just head back to the...
Go back to the Starbucks. It was this...
Yeah, that's it. No, not that one.
Oh.
This one.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I'm kind of like iffy about it, right? Like the whole hardware 3 thing, hardware 4. The only reason why is like my cousin has hardware 3 and she's on a Model Y.
Did she buy FSD too?
No, she didn't at the time. And I asked her personal opinion on it. She's just like, I know that the Y and 3 have better suspension, and this is like the biggest gripe of my model. She's like, I'm just going to trade my car in. She's like, I don't want to deal with the suspension knowing that we have an upgraded suspension.
I mean, yeah, the 3 and the Y the 3 is 7 years old now. Like the 2018s, 2019s, right?
Yeah.
Talking 6 to 8 years old, right?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's gonna literally be a matter of who are those people. I know there's a couple of them that are out there that probably would do it. Like, for example, probably Tesla Raj.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to him. I mean, I don't. But for me, yeah, like, dude, I bought 2 Model 3s in 2018, but since then I bought 3 more Teslas.
Yep.
And not everyone's like me.
Nope.
But but not everyone's gonna do that. But for me, it's like, you know, I want to be on whatever is going to be able to do unsupervised.
Exactly.
And no question about it.
Yeah.
Right? Not like 14 Lite. I want whatever's going to be on there. You know?
Yeah. I agree with that, man. I mean, for you, John, obviously you have been in this space for so long. What does it mean to you that, you know, the people that look up to you and, you know, look at you as a, you know, like I look at you personally like a mentor because I'm so new to the space, but like, what does it mean to you to be a president of Tesla owners?
Well, so I think this is like, you know, kind of going back to like, you know, how we met, which is, you know, I'm always going to be one of those guys who remembers, you know, how I started this group, where we came. I'm never going to be like, hey, I'm better than this person or that person. You know, and sure, there's going to be people maybe you don't get along with that it's just, you know, you're not going to waste your time with those type of people, right? 'Cause there's already too much negativity in the world where it's like, you're going to lean into people who support you and who are going to go where you're going, right? Because show me a person, show me the people they're hanging out with, that will tell you a lot about where they're going.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And maybe, and a lot of times when you get somewhere, you know, the people you started with, it leaves them uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And so what does that cause to happen? It causes the fact that, you know, you start having budding friction with. So a lot of people that I started the club with, you know, a lot of them have either moved on from Tesla or, and I'm not even saying like our club has been very solid, but it's a lot of the people who I started in the community with. A lot of them have phased out, or, you know, we've had, you know, some conflicts and things like that. And so it's just like, that's just part of growth and of life. Right?
Yeah.
So it's really important to just like lean into people who are going to support you and to help you grow as a person. But I never like will treat a person a certain way just because, oh, they have 2 followers, whatever, right?
Yeah.
No, I'm always here to help and be a resource whenever I can, give them expertise whenever I can. Oh, this is cool. It's going around. Looks like they're cutting down some trees and stuff.
Heck yeah.
But for me, it's a privilege to be able to run this organization. It's a privilege to give people access like we do, right? Like when you think of the X takeover, right? Having Elon come, having May Musk come, having Franz come. And a lot of times these are first, right? We had Lars and Steve Jurvensen come last year, right? And, you know, a lot of times, like, you don't really see a whole lot of interviews that some of these execs will do outside of maybe like a Jay Leno or, you know, some of those type of like videos. And so, or interviews. So it's really cool to kind of get that fan level type of event.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's just, you know, at the end of the day, we're here to serve the community, to help it grow. And I've always told people that that's what probably one of the coolest things, to see all the stuff happening for the Tesla Takeover Europe.
Yep. Like
that event is probably gonna have like 1,000+ people. You know, I know that they have some stuff happening behind the scenes to prep things. So that event's gonna be a banger. But I met those guys in 2019 at an event for the presidents back in the day.
Oh shit.
I gave them a ride in my car, and next thing you know, we're like best friends.
Yeah.
So, and I always told them, dude, I grow, we grow. And through our relationship, like, you know, through our relationship, you know, they got, you know, to meet people like May Musk. They got, you know, to get connected with some of the Tesla execs as well through us. And it's just because it's like, I'm not here to be, you know, a gatekeeper for people.
Yeah.
Right. I'm an enabler. Right. And that's really what we are here to focus on. Yeah, it's cool to see that go around that bike. But it's, we're here to help the community grow.
Yeah.
Right. And that's why when I met you, and, it's just like, hey man, how can I help you out? If there's a couple minutes of my time, boom, here you go. And, we connected. Right. Yeah. And even seeing and even why, it was, thanks for, inviting me. But yeah, I remember, seeing, I was like, you were doing all these videos. I was like, hey man, I would love to jump on the channel at some point, man. And so, it's cool like that, man. It's cool to see some of these, cause I think the idea kind of, originated from one of my drives.
Yep.
And then
100%.
From there, it's like, I'm seeing you're doing your thing, and it's like, how can I help you out, man?
Yeah. And I can attest to that for everyone watching this. Even my wife, you're the most famous person I have on my phone. I put that on everything. And my wife and I were driving home from
funny, man.
Ceramic, and she was just like, if you would have met John, you would have never thought he has almost 2 million followers across all platforms.
2.8.
2.8.
Not that anyone's counting.
Yeah, right? And I was like, and when she said that to me, it clicked in my head. I'm like, yeah, because, once you get to that, we have this misconception, right? Once you get to a certain point of followers, it's like, well, he's never going to respond or he's never going to do this, right? But it was the complete opposite. And
when you subscribed, dude, I messaged you.
Yeah, you did. You did. Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
You did. Oh my gosh. I'm not embarrassed to say this. I literally was at work on a roof and I was fucking jumping up and down, and my coworker was like, what is going on? I'm like, bro, this guy I've been watching for a year and some change messaged me back, and after a sub, and he was just like, he doesn't have X or anything, and he was just so lost. He was
you didn't even DM me. I just messaged you out of the blue. It's like, bro, what's up?
Yeah, I was, dude, that day I literally felt like I won the lottery, but now that we're speaking out loud and making a video, you've been so consistent of showing me that, right? Because, I still get a little nervy being around you, and now after, talking and doing our thing.
Oh, this is cool. It stopped literally for this car.
Heck yeah, go FSD. Yeah, man, after this video and just hearing you talk, and dude, we're so passionate about this, and the outside noise, I'm not worried about that at this point. But I'm so glad I got to sit with you, man, and really get to know you, because the events, we're all over the freaking place, right? We're entertaining everyone, talking to people, getting to know people. So I'm finally glad I get to sit down with you and really just go over everything, because obviously the last video we did, 14.3 came out, it was just a straight frenzy. We got to do this. We got to experience it.
Hurry.
Yeah.
It's like, where are you? Man, it's in between lunch break too.
Yeah, and we made that happen.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, I just feel like a lot of the times, don't have that misconception of just because they have this huge following, which my wife and I had, I'm guilty of it. There's still really good people out there at the end of the day, right? And going through what I went through the past year and changing my mindset, and you and Joe being on my ass about it, which I appreciate, it's made me look at life really different, right? That one basket that I was always in is in the ocean now at this point, because it took me nowhere. And being in an owners club with Joe running it, and you being with me, and you guys just being there every step of the way, man, it's really helped me not only become a good Tesla owner, but also a man at the end of the day, right? Yep. Joe and I always say, or I tell Joe, we sharpen each other, and that's what it's about, especially with all the craziness going around the world. Is all we have is each other at the end of the day, and to be there for one another, and when life comes, and we deal with it then.
Yeah, I think as you're making content too, right, and depending on I think, and you already know all this, right? It's so obviously, figuring out your niche, figuring out what you want to focus on. But the biggest thing is being consistent. But either way, once you build, once you start gaining traction, you're going to find there's going to be moments when you're creating content where you're like, that's where I need to go.
Yep.
And it's going to feel weird, but it's also going to be you're going to have to just lock in and just put in overtime.
Yep.
where it's like there might be no balance at that point, where it's like you're spending a crazy god awful amount of time doing it. But it's through those times of building and leaning into those moments where your channels and your following is going to grow. But the biggest thing is like what you'll notice as you grow, it becomes a reflection in the mirror for other people who are following you.
100%.
And there's and a lot of those people, especially if they know who you are, they're friends with you, and they started at the same time. Everyone is gonna feel that way of more of like, are they gonna be there for you, or are they gonna kind of like feel some jealousy and trip you as you're kind of walking, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And really, it's gonna come down to and that was probably like one of the biggest moments for me where I don't do this full time, even now. So if people want to clap back, if they want to clap off or sound off on me online, it's whatever.
Yeah.
Like it really doesn't matter. Like, but initially, when I started this club, because I'm especially I was a volunteer doing this, literally like running a nonprofit.
Yep.
And, and I, again, not doing this full time. And it's like, and people want to, just take a crap on you. And that's the thing. It's, people don't really, yes, people are going to make mistakes.
Yep.
One, how do they respond? Do they own up to it?
Yep.
And, are they cordial? Like all that, right? So that will speak volumes. But what I was trying to say is that, throughout all of this is that, how it's how you, like when you grow a following, you will get hate.
Yep. And
because they have to look in a mirror, and are they going to be accepting of that their friend is doing so much better or not? Even for me, like if people that I know that, let's say, have a smaller following now that grow to be bigger than me, how am I going to feel?
Yeah.
Am I going to be the one? And that's actually why sometimes I feel like, I do get along with other creators that have big followings, because every one of us that creates this, creates a following, they've been through it.
Yep.
And it really can be a really nasty process to grow. Because again, it would be one thing, because for me, this is where I'm unique. It's two things. I'm not doing this full time. So it's like, I don't need all this extra stuff. I can just quit this stuff, right? It doesn't make sense. And the second thing is like, I'm not doing it full time, right? It's just like, I don't know if that was really 2 points, but it's like one. But it's like, it's just, this is something I'm, doing because I'm passionate about it. I'm not doing it full time. And so, that's where, did what I say make sense?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm just talking here right now.
No, you're good, man. Like, I just
saying a whole lot of nothing.
I want people to hear you talk, and I feel like a lot of the times we just see our posts, and it's just like we think that post represents that person 100%, right? And that's not the case. And you've helped me out so much, man. And a little small fry like me, and you ended up you're like, no, dude, I don't care if I have 20 million followers, I'm still going to be the same, because how I am is what got you here.
Yeah.
Right.
And don't get me wrong, you will meet crazies where you need to put up the brakes.
Yeah.
Like I've literally met people when I'm at the Tesla takeover in Europe, and they're like, hey, I need this message to go to Elon. And it's like, there's some just whack people who I'm going to completely just block and, be away from, because they're crazy.
Yeah.
But, yeah, exactly. Like people think I just can
do anything real quick.
Yeah, exactly. Sure. Can I DM the guy? Of course.
Yeah.
But I'm not, I'm not going to just be DMing some random cool idea to the guy, or, hey, this, they just think that it's like, we're in Silicon Valley, so we have all this money. And it's like, no, it's just the wage is higher, but the cost of living has followed that.
Exactly. Yeah, no, for sure.
But yeah, so all that to say, I think I beat this in the ground, is like, when you grow a following, you're going to get hate.
Yep.
The biggest thing is to learn to control what you can and not care about the rest.
Exactly.
Right? Care about what, ground your faith, care about what your wife thinks. Because obviously if you're spending way too much time and she's like, hey, like pull back a little. I mean, she'll help you navigate through some of that stuff. But, if your support group is there for you, then you really don't need the rest, man.
Yes.
Obviously you got your family too, right?
Yep.
But with all of that, because it's like people are going to have a certain perception online about you, even though they don't know you. And that's fine. That's just how it is.
Yep.
So it's like you need to expect it.
Yep.
Even for you, right? Like even as you're starting out, there's going to be people, even as you're kind of small-ish now, as you grow, they may not like you.
Yep.
Right? And as you get to medium size, they're not going to like you. I mean, it's just
the way it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm learning that. Obviously, I'm so new to this space, and I'm glad I'm learning through, you and everyone else that has been so supportive. I mean, I think, in my opinion, I have friends that are in like Mustang clubs, and the list goes on, right? But I just think there's nothing like the Tesla owners. Like the amount of people I've met through like the club and all that stuff, like I wouldn't take for granted, man, because a lot of these people are just like us, right? They're just as passionate about Tesla and all that stuff. But I think the one thing I really enjoy about you, John, is you're always yourself, no matter what. You're like, and I really respect that as a person, as a man at the end of the day, because then that tells me that no matter what crowd you're in, you are the same John. It doesn't matter. You're at the X takeover, you're at Elon's desk. It doesn't matter. You're the same John, and I can really appreciate that. Because nowadays, like you said, right, people are gonna do clicks. People are gonna want clout to boost everything up, right? But whenever I see your posts or whenever we talk back and forth, whether that's text in the car or via phone, I just feel like it's the same person. It's the most consistent person every single time. And I can really appreciate that for sure as a new guy coming into this space. My last question before we get to Starbucks, pivoting away from Tesla, kind of like a more personal thing. What is your advice to dads out there, like a first-time dad expecting a baby? Is there anything that in your lifetime of having, your children that like just spoke to you and still speaks to you to this day?
Yeah. Well, and I'll speak. So some quick context is, the Silicon Valley, like a lot of dads are like 45 before they have their first kid, right? Mm-hmm. And so you have, people who are getting older and older having kids. And I think people think that you need to have a certain salary, have a certain amount in the bank before you can start having kids, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that that's a complete lie, and more importantly, when you have a kid too, and this is really my advice, right, is that when you have a kid, really 0 to 8 are probably some of the most important and pivotal years for you as the father to be around. Mm-hmm. And don't get me wrong, there are seasons in life where you're at a job, you got to be putting in 60, 80 hours a week. And that's just because you're putting food on the table and there's stuff you can and cannot control.
Yeah. But
what is a complete lie is that, hey, I'm going to work these 10 years in my 30s and 40s, get to the certain income, and then I'm going to have all this time. Nope. Statistically, I think it's by like the age of 10 or 11, you've spent 80% of your time that you will ever spend with your kid by 10 or 11.
Yep.
So that means you literally have, for the rest of your time that you will get with them ever, is 20%, which is crazy.
That is crazy.
And so all I'm just trying to say is that if you're not there building them from 0 to 8, by the time you're interacting with them at 11 or 12, you're dealing with someone that has been probably raised by somebody else, or you know what I mean? You're not around. So it's important to be, if you can, a present father, one who's there, involved, find their interests, lean into that.
Yeah.
But it's actually those younger years that kind of matter more than the older ones.
Yeah.
No, do you know what I mean? Just because it's like, and again, the relationships change. I got a soon-to-be 12-year-old. Shout out to my oldest. And then I got a 4-year-old. So it's just like, you're talking middle school all the way down to like, you're not even pre-K yet. Yeah. So it's just, I think that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I have a 2-year-old at home, and, I love being around dads because, I'm going to learn no matter what. But it's always nice to talk to dads and get, like, different perspectives, especially, you have 4 kids. My sister has 4 kids, so like I understand like the dynamic, right? Because whenever I do go to my sister's, it's like it's insane in her house. But I ask my sister all the time. She's like, just like Elon says, you enjoy your kids, and that's another big thing that I really appreciate about Elon is how much he tells you to like go spend time with your kids, go have more kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like that within itself is cool because you're never going to hear a CEO say that. Well, at least I haven't. Like encouraging like to have kids and spending time with your kids, right? Because like you said, the misconception is, oh, I just got to work for 10 freaking years and it's going to be all gravy. It's like, no, it's not how it works, right?
Yeah, and I had parents raise me here in the Bay Area, really in the peninsula, Silicon Valley. And, you could have one thing you'll learn fast is that, you could have all the money in the world, but there's going to be that moment where you get cancer, you get sick, and you're gone. And then what do you leave behind, right? You're not going to leave, sure, you might leave some money, but more importantly, you're going to leave memories.
Yeah.
Or not, like whether they're good or bad. And so really it comes down to, what are you investing in? And so that's actually for me, actually, like, I feel like driving a Tesla it becomes about the journey, not the destination. I think so much time in our lives where we're just like, we got to run.
Yep.
We got to hit that, right? Like get there as fast as we can by any means versus like, that was my gas car mentality when, I drove like my Tacoma and my, all the cars that I've had. I've had a Ford Ranger, a Subaru 2.5 RS and, a Sonic XP, but it was just like, how do I get literally from San Jose to LA as fast as I can with minimal stops?
Yep.
And by the time you get there, you're about to crash out, right?
Yep.
It's crazy. Versus when I get a Tesla, it's like I'm enjoying the drive. Like, I'm seeing the scenery. I see what's going on, right? And I think that's just the biggest thing and the biggest difference.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No, I mean, dude, when we went to LA and my wife and I were just chilling in the car, she's like, "This is boring." I'm like, "This is exactly what it's supposed to feel like. It's supposed to be boring. Keep us safe so that way we can get to our destination without even freaking thinking." And that was like one of the best experiences, man. The 6-hour drive didn't feel like a 6-hour drive. It felt like I was just connecting with my wife the whole time. And the next thing you know, it's like, oh, crap, we're at a supercharger now. And we only need one stop. And I want to tell everyone out there, it's not an hour to 2 hours to charge at a supercharger, okay?
I thought it was 10 hours.
Yeah, right. Ooh. But John, we're gonna end this. But
Sweet, man.
always let my people in the passenger seat end the video on what they have to say. So take it on over, man, before we end this video here.
Yeah, well, Jay, thanks for having me, man. It's been a pleasure to be on your channel, to watch you grow and, onwards and upwards, man. So it's been a pleasure. Thanks for inviting me.
Appreciate you, John.
Of course, dude.
Thank you, sir. Catch you guys on the next one.